a moment, just making sure that everything is working. Get started in just a moment. I just want to make sure that all the live streams are working. Hope your great day is starting out great. Thank you for just a moment patience, and we'll get going shortly. Okay, perfect. I see that things are starting. Hey everyone, happy what today? Happy Wednesday, post-holiday in the US. I just want to take a moment and start by just doing a little grounding wherever you are. If you're starting or ending the day, let's just take 3 deep breaths and set the intention of being open, absorbing information. Please feel free to ask me questions. I'll be monitoring mostly the LinkedIn question feed. I know sometimes there's a little bit delays, but ask me questions on there and I will do my best to respond. So let's take just 3 deep breaths wherever you are. I know I need it, so hope you enjoyed it as well. So let's start with this. Beautiful. Well, thank you for joining us today. I'm excited to share with you what we have done at SelfFull for our or our third product launch. If you've been with us since P1, you might have seen that we've created features to help coaches run their whole coaching program with one app, also support their client experience in one place as well. In P2, we added more features, including things like having smart workflow for your notes and having community. In P3, we're just enhancing some of those things. We have notifications that give you visibility into how progress is happening, and you get the alert when things are happening in your program, or clients will see messages from you on their phone, so streamlined communication. And at the same time, we also added a check-in feature, which is a way for coaches to go in and have some input fields that they want to requests, and have an easy way for them to track the results of those info fields from the client side. So now it's a way for you to have a streamlined place for communication with your clients. It's a place for you to also have your coaching content or kind of shareable information that you can control. And you can also monitor some progress that is based on the input fields that you as a coach created. So without further ado, let me share what we've created. And then after we do a little demo, I'll talk a little bit more but also what's coming for us in ahead. We are looking to position ourselves in a new way, kind of expanding our opportunities into corporate coaching. So I'll do a little sneak peek about that. And I'll show you what we're working for P4 as kind of a new frontier for our data analytics and ROI capabilities. So let's have fun. I'm just going to triple check if people have any questions. And if you are watching a recording, never hesitate to reach out to me. Ooh, don't want to hear myself over there. Um, So yes, feel free to ask me any questions along the way, or even send me an email at anya.selffull, SELFFULL.io, or reach out to me on LinkedIn if you have any questions or want a demo of this after the event. So let's share the screen and show you what we have. And just as a reminder, SelfFull is right now available on the web or in your favorite app store, so Google and app. And this version is now live, so you are able to check it out. I'll just do one more caveat and say that for the app, you do have to access first as a coach. So as a coach, you would come in, you would you would then invite your clients, and your clients would be able to log in based on the invite you sent to them, so the email they're using, or you can create an invite code for them. So here is the web view of SelfFull right now. It's literally accessed at app.selffull.io. And if you're logging in for the first time, you would sign up here. So create your own account as you prefer. Um, and you will see actually right here, if you are a client and you as a coach, you can create an access code, and your client can enter that code to also connect to your account. And so if you're a coach, you would put in your name, email, you wouldn't put in a code, you create a coach account, and that would get your process started. Then I'm just going to log into my account to show to show the look of that. And then I'll show you the client version of that code. And I'm going to show you my client view as I'm going through the Power program by the incredible Terry Swope. Nice. Okay, so here is the view. For you familiar, some of you might be familiar with this app. I'm going to go through it as if you are seeing it for the first time. We are intentionally being minimalistic in terms of our features. So if you have never been here, it can give you some sense like, this is pretty intuitive. So here as a coach, you can input and train our AI in the program around your desired brand, around your desired course methodology. The key being here is that what you create here at these two sections will train your AI assistant. So here at the top, there's a section for AI assistant setting. Here's a place where you can set the tone for your AI assistant. And the use case being that, you're running your program, but as we know, AI is becoming more prevalent. And SelfFull believes that AI isn't going to replace the human coaching experience, but it's going to be there at 3 a.m. when your client has questions specific to your program, and they probably won't reach you, perhaps, at that time. So the assistant can fill in the gap when you're not around, or want to use it kind of to also scale how many people you can support by having that assistance. So you set the tone in this instructions. In the course section here, you can add, if you don't have a course, which I know sometimes coaches are doing one-on-one, so they don't have traditional like coaching content as a course, but you maybe have shareable information. You can create a new course, test over here. And in the course, you can add chapters or standalone modules. So if you've used a learning management system in the past, it'll look pretty similar. But again, you can use it for your favorite articles or assessments or some kind of experience that you want to share with your client. You can put in your own brand and style. You can have questionnaires added in here, your videos, your banners, questions and quizzes that you can add. So resources, you can set the unlock timing, like who gets access to it and when do they get access. So if you have a lot of information that you're traditionally sharing, say via email, via WhatsApp, via Google Docs, and it's all dispersed for you and the client, this helps centralize all of those things in one place. So now you have these two things that set the tone, and everything you put in here in terms of Word documents is training the context of your AI. So together, your assistant is going to have this information. You can then invite your user, or again, use your access code, which is going to be right here in the corner for you. And then your clients will be able to sync to your program. We are thinking constantly about customization because we know no coaching experience and no coach is alike. So we have the opportunity to modify things. Say you want to name your AI assistant in your preferred way, you can do that. Say you want that we labeled lessons as quests, but you can choose to label them whatever is aligned to your brand breakfast. And then if your program prefers this, there's an ability to create your own onboarding process. This is what your client sees the first time they go through a program or they log in. So you can put in your logo, excuse me, your message, your welcome video, and some of these parameters that help you onboard your client in your preferred way in one centralized location and gather information about them. There's also a centralized ability to have communications here. So on one section, you can send notifications. So again, this is for your client to see in their app. So you're not just always going to their WhatsApp or in their email, you're directly in front of them. So you can schedule a message, you can send recipients, you can send the message now. And then additionally, we have the ability here in the course section to have a direct chat with your clients. So I don't have a client here added, but I'll show you an example of that shortly where you can send a message. Here you'll see the lessons that I created. If I have a banner, you'll see it kind of open up over here. And another aspect of communication that I created is this community tab. So here you could actually create your community, and you can see all the testing communities I've created by simply and you can enable this community if you want or not want for your clients to see or not. So again, you have a lot of control from the start. Cats, just conservation, why not? And if I had members, I would actually see them right now. And I kind of add an image over here. Let's see what I have close by. But the cool thing is that now you have all your communications, all your charts. Let's do this in a moment. C2. Okay. Create. And even if you don't have a community kind of flow that you want to support, this could be used if you prefer to have this newsfeed kind of style of communication with your clients. You can add an image if you want over there. So these are things, and again, you can add members, you can edit the community as well, as you want to. So now you have ability to run your content, have shared communication, have your clients access this information, have an AI chat experience where they can again speak to the AI or um, and then finally, we created this AI note section, which is a place for you to work with your AI transcripts. So say at the end of the session, you have your transcript from your favorite transcriber, you copy it in here. You can just also show an example. This is kind of what I do. So if you delete it, you can have an example that just comes in here, save changes. You can add your session notes. So say you're taking some separate notes that were not transcribed on a piece of paper or something you want to summarize them. You can add AI instructions on top of it. And you can choose if the previous AI instructions that you set on the dashboard page are going to be copied here or not. So once you do that, it'll kind of, you can renew. You can create a new section. And here there'll be like a recap. There'll be some assumptions that the AI shares. You can have the voice the assumptions you want, and you can share these with your clients as well. So the idea being here is like you probably would do this on ChatGPT, your transcriber, copy to ChatGPT, doing some actions, sending it via email to your client. But here you can streamline all of that in one place. So that is a summary of most of the things. Again, you'll see that there is the notification section that's popping up for your clients and kind of what happened. So that is the coach side of the experience. I'm going to now log out and show you the client side so you can get a sense of how does that work from the client perspective. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask them. Again, I will refresh the LinkedIn chat to hopefully see anything I'm missing. But let me log out here. Okay, again, you can also submit a bug, feature request, all the fun stuff over here. And let's log into audience. So this is me logging into our client side of the experience, again, demoing an awesome program, the Power Program by Terry Swope. So here you see more of an example of Terry's content. So here as a client, I'm going to see different sections pop up. So I'll see my content over here that Terry has in her section. You'll see her books. You'll see that I have the ability to have a direct chat with my coach over here. The community chat has just been created. So here you kind of see some of the communications that are happening in the program. Right, you see last activity and the number of members, which is great. I have my chat that Terry has created a name for over here. Again, this is my content. This is a check-in process that we created. Again, as a coach, you can select the questions you want to create. Actually, I should have showed that. You can create an open-ended question or a numeric question, and the client, once that's created, will be able to see those over here. And you and the client will be able to see today's progress, this week's progress, and this month's progress as accumulation of the check-in experience that I've shared. And then finally, obviously, the client can go through their settings and kind of update their social bio information, things like that. So from a client perspective, now they have one experience that they have for your full program in terms of how they're communicating with you, how they're communicating with their cohort members, how they're accessing content. And I believe that most people come to the program because they have a personal why, right? Sometimes they're not always even engaging with the content so much as the community experience, or they want to reduce friction in how they're communicating with the coach or cohort members. And that's really what we're trying to honor, while also giving them the easiest way to work with your content as well. So that is the visibility of this experience. I'm just going to refresh one more time to see if there are any questions. And again, if you want to see this, oh, actually, I'll show one more thing. Is this is the notification part. So if you see, there's some of the notifications that you'll see from the community part about what's been happening over here. So as a coach and as a recipient of these notifications as a client, I will see notifications of what's happening in the program, and I'll get them also as a text as long as notifications are enabled. Okay, that is that part. I'm going to just stop sharing for a moment. Actually, stay that page for a moment. Okay, so this is where we are. Our focus for the next month for this program is to actually make it self-serve. So we are moving towards having a page where you can start having a self-service model. You can sign up for yourself. We're always going to be available here to kind of give you support and answer any questions. And also, obviously, take any suggestions from you, but you will be able to go in and sign up and pay for each license that you want. It's going to be a $25 charge per license for each client per month. And you can obviously edit that as much as you need to increase or decrease based on the amount of active clients you have at the time. And our pricing model is based on the value we see happening. So we see this saving you time in terms of how you share resources, how you get feedback from clients, how you streamline communications from them all in one place. On average, we expect to save about 1 to 2 hours, just at the very least, for each client that you have, and also able to like monitor their progress in a much more effective way in one location. So based on that, we assume like if you even got like one more client or save that much time for yourself each week, it would be worthwhile at the very least $25. I know it's a very conservative estimate to start, but we want it to be something that it feels easy to try in your program as if you keep improving it and just builds value and makes it a no-brainer for you to try out. And obviously welcome your feedback on how we can make this offering better for you. Um, the exciting thing for us is that we have started this idea about how to understand the pain points of coaches where there's a lot of balancing of different tools, where there's friction that's happening with communication with clients, and we are now focusing on creating more of an understanding of what's working, what's not. Like, what is the ROI? How do we measure the traditionally more soft qualitative experience of coaching. So as we actually look ahead, we are looking to make this app and web a self-serve model for a buyer's perspective and moving on to focusing on corporate coaching models. So with kind of some of the learnings that we take away from here about how to reduce friction, how to drive more connection and meaningful connection between coach and client, we're taking and we want to create the next level of insights for corporate coaching. So I'm excited to share with you our vision for, well, at least a sketch of what insights we want to provide for corporate coaching. And if you and our moving forward for this corporate coaching side, we're really excited to serve CEOs, chiefs, chiefs of coaching businesses, coaching companies, maybe even consultants who have an experience that they're providing to corporate clients, where it's really valuable for them to deliver the measurable outcomes, to be able to say, hey, the work that we are doing is having tangible outcomes and it's helping us justify the budget that you're putting in here. So I'll show you a first mock-up of kind of the dashboard we're creating. Um, we are working with an incredible partner called Leads, who kind of helping conceptualize this. So this is kind of also their inspiration, helping us move in this direction. But here, our joint vision is going to be called Lydia, and this is the very first kind of translate this. So just give you some inspiration of where we're going towards. So we envision that as a coaching a company CEO, you would be able to provide a new level of insights to your clients, and it's going to be separated from giving, employee level insights to different insights to, say, department leaders, to having access to show like how are you handling control and compliance. So this is just our starting assumption of what that would look like. And here we're going to just try the access with the highest level of control, so the compliance admin. So this is going to evolve, but our vision is to give different level of insights. First, we have to collect the insights, and that's what's unique about us. We're collecting insights from the coach and the client, and that data gives a unique perspective of kind of what's working, what's not, what can be improved, whether it's through the check-in process, through the transcripts, and obviously the key here is to be transparent about how data is used and anonymizing and being respectful of how data is collected so that sample sizes and some of those things are adhered to and clients feel comfortable sharing information and knowing what is providing them in return. For the personal level, we see that, well, what I'm really passionate about is thinking about how do you create value for each person who's providing the data. So our inspiration here is that if I'm somebody who, is doing coaching, I want to see my progress day to day, or I want to see like what insights am I getting from providing my data. And so this is our initial draft. Obviously, it's going to be probably more visualized about some of the potential insights that a individual user might have as they're using coaching to kind of understand like their well-being trends, their goal progress, some of the metrics around that. And then if we look up at the, if it's reporting to your team level, there'll be some reporting on other metrics that may be valuable to the team or the company. And you'll see an example of us having cohort-based privacy restrictions, so minimal size. So these are just sample kind of reporting areas that we have and some recommendations that may be provided to the team based on kind of some of the outcomes. You'll be able to export and kind of monitor things by role level, by time frame. And then imagine now as a CEO of a coaching company, you could provide this level of insight to your clients, or even probably some of this will roll over into information that will be carried over to as a, excuse me, to the smaller coaching app and kind of web access. So some of the ROI and data analytics will be probably carrying over to the app and the website. It just might take a little bit more time as we're kind of prioritizing this corporate coaching vision right now, but it will probably give us insights that will carry over more broadly. But imagine as department side, you can have insights on different areas of kind of growth for your team, some risk assessment, and then as a CEO of a coaching company, you can say, hey, as an organization, if you have this kind of problem, a vision for the next 6 to 12 months. Here's how our coaching program can come in, and here are some things that we can measure for your organization to say, hey, how are you progressing towards those organizational goals? So instead of saying, hey, here is, here's what we can measure for you, you can go back and say, hey, what's important to you? And here's our process to make that possible, and how we're going to help you prove that things are working in that direction. And then finally, what's really great is as everybody is very mindful about privacy and compliance, we're obviously also doing this on the Microsoft backend, which is very important in terms of being able to execute on this quickly in a matter of weeks once we have a concept, and also about being able to always stay compliant and up to date on the latest innovation. So here, as the person who would have admin control, be able to access and control user management. You'd be able to look at important things like privacy and control things like the size of the cohort, the retention period. So everybody who is getting access to that would be able to control things and fully understand how things are working. So it's not a black box of unknowns. You'd be able to look at data sources, audit logs, and obviously have more settings that you can have on here. So it gives the control to our clients to make the right decisions and know how things are working behind the scenes, and also know that they are compliant from the start. So this is our vision. I'll stop sharing for the moment of what's to come. I'm just going to refresh one more time. I know we're flying through this and I'm talking a lot. Usually I'll have more of a group discussion around this, but would love to get your questions. I think the one thing we're really focused on right now is understanding how can this be of highest value to people who are providing experiences to corporate clients and really want to understand and measure the outcomes that they're providing. We're also wanting to experiment with how do we really create an experience that's delightful for every part of the user journey, meaning that if you are the CEO of a coaching company and you are developing this product for your corporate client, yes, you want to delight them with the level of data you have, but at the same time, you're mindful that your coaches will be working with their clients, and how can we create an experience for the client and the coach that minimizes friction, that also gathers high level data? And that's what we're going to be optimizing for, is that process of how do we improve the dynamics of collecting high quality data, a sticky experience for the end user and client who's providing this thing, and making sure that there's value for them to keep coming back, and not just like asking for their data and there's really not an incentive for them to do that. So that's what we're inspired by. Again, a key thing for us is just to make sure that we're always following what's of value to incredible coaches like yourself. So please give us feedback. If you'd like to demo it around your use case, we'd love to hear from you and try it out. We're looking for about 3 to 4 sample or beta trials for this corporate pilot. And what we would do together, if you are interested or know somebody that's interested, is we'd understand what you are looking to measure as a leader in your coaching company. And it could be something like, hey, you have 40 coaches and you want to understand how they are performing, so you can measure the outcomes of your company better, right? Or it could be, again, you want to know how with your process and what you are able to do, how you can provide offerings to enterprises, and then you can justify um, your outcomes more effectively when you go pitch a client, or you want to show the progress to existing clients. So 3 to 4 betas. We are looking for people who can jump into action or kind of be partners with us in about in about weeks of time, not months time. So if that's something that sounds interesting to you and you are excited to use more innovation and data and AI also around this process and don't want to hire hire your own kind of AI team just to make it possible, we love to partner with you and innovate with you and take all of our learnings because we believe that um, at the core of it, it has to be a great human experience. We want AI and ROI tracking and data analytics to be at the background of that and create um, great value to all parts of the experience. So it's never just a one-sided exchange of like who's getting data and who's seeing the data outcomes, but there's always value every step of the way. And it's really giving you a sense of like what to do with that. Because as we know, there's a lot of data, we're overwhelmed by it. But the key thing we want to have is that the data becomes meaningful. So it's not just saying, hey, you have done X, Y, Z, but it's like, what can you do with it now that you have this information that's going to guide you to this transformative experience? So grateful for that. I see a question from Tiana. Thank you so much. Great features and loving the platform. As for the AI within SelfFull, can it be trained in our own methodology to be able to answer content related questions? Exactly. Yes, Tiana, that's exactly what it can do. So I'll go and share back the SelfFull video. And I'll log out right here just for one moment back to my own program. So as a coach, go back over here. As a coach, if you, let's see which one, I think it's uh, logging back in the program. Yeah. So as a coach, when you put in your instructions over here and your content, again, if you don't have a course, it could really be your methodology, right? This doesn't have to be actually shared with anybody, right? You can say like, ChatGPT or wherever you have, here's my process, here's my questions, here's all things. You create this into put it into this section somewhere, and whatever you put in here in a Word doc right now will be training the AI. So these two parts are the things that are training. So when your client chats with their assistant over here, it's going to have all that context and it's going to be answering with that. In the chat is already ChatGPT 5 enabled. So if you want to have, it's going to have both your information and ChatGPT 5 intelligence backing the conversation for your clients when you're not around. Great question. Let me know if you have other questions. I appreciate that. I'm just going to refresh one more time. I know we're coming up at time, so thank you so much. And again, this recording will be shared with people who are joining, and we welcome any follow-up questions, any demos. We'll keep you posted on our progress for this upcoming month. I know it's kind of for us an exciting new direction we're taking. And we're mindful also of just how much we appreciate all the coaches who have been with us up to this point. I know that not everybody's kind of interested in the corporate coaching space, but we so appreciate everybody who's supported us, given us feedback, asked us questions, taking the time to demo this product and making better. Shout out to Terry and Brett who've helped us out seasonally. I so appreciate my team for making all these updates possible. They are really the magic behind all of this. And again, thank you for, again, inspiring us by what you do, inspiring us by what you do for your clients, inspiring us to think about how we can make this product better for everybody. And at that, I will wrap it up right before my monster comes in and starts screaming. I'm just going to flush one more time, but thank you for joining today. Thank you for watching this. Oh, yeah, one sec. Monsters over here. One sec, my love. But if you're interested, I'll send also a link in here for a 15-minute call with me, and would love to meet you and kind of show you more of what's possible here, answer your questions, and wishing everybody a fantastic rest of your week. And thank you for following us. Thank you for supporting us, and wishing you all the best.